First part of this video is going to be a little sketchy. We're actually doing this is the second take on trying to record our Saturday shop talk, and we had a corrupt file we tried to repair. So it is a little jittery in the beginning, but hang tight. It does level out and the rest of the video seemed to turn out okay. But be warned, you might not want to watch too closely. It might make you a little dizzy in this first intro part, or first 5 minutes or so. All right, welcome back to Saturday Shop Talk. This is take 2. This is the second time we're recording this entire video, and it was a long one, so buckle up. Some of the comments get a little bit spicy. We had some camera malfunctions on the first video, and then we had some microphone malfunctions on the second part after our battery died on the camera, so it has been an interesting one. But we're going to go through it again. I don't have any cards or anything to scan or photograph or list today, so it's just straight to the comments because I've already done my work for today.
And he doesn't want to do it twice.
I don't want to do it twice. I'll do some more tomorrow. But we do want to get the Saturday video out, so we're going to go ahead and re-record that. So first one's from Cookboy, 1963, says, Grams, you're correct about packing of shipment. Having had received some shipments from you and some being bulk lots, I appreciate the way they were packed. To your point, I don't think about packing when I buy from Grams and Pops. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Rubazar says maybe it's Rub Azar.
Rubazar.
Rub Azar.
It's Rubazar.
I don't know. It's a mystery, but it's your name, so
tell me if I'm right.
It says Rub Azar. That he put the pronunciation in.
Oh, did he?
All right, we're gonna go with that then. Jose Garcia says, good morning all, have a great day. You too, Jose. I hope it's Jose and not Joe's. It's Jose. It's Jose, right? Dovetail Loft says, yay, perfect timing of the video release. Love watching this format. Thank you for watching, and happy Saturday. Nellis Emporium, seller was unprofessional. I would get the impression the seller was a swap meet or flea market reseller. Yeah, the package she's talking about, what she's talking about is the package we talked about two videos ago on last Saturday Shop Talk, where it was just a bunch of garbage in the package. I kind of got the same impression, or just maybe not a seller and they were just selling a few things on eBay. But they had quite a few listings, so I think they are a reseller. I just don't think they really cared, and it came across in the package. That was my first impression. So Tanya Neal says, enjoy watching your sell videos, and this is a bonus. We'll be checking out all the stores this holiday season to see if there's something special for Christmas gifts. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and hopefully you find some cool stuff in there. We did just get a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff, so if somebody needs Star Wars for Christmas, Grams and Pops Vintage on eBay's got you covered this year. Mariah Gage says, the Depop comment, I meant to say even after you accept an offer, they still have to go in and actually pay for the item. Yeah, so it's not automatically paid. It's not set up on auto pay, so if they accept it, they still have to come into their cart and finish their checkout.
I think so.
That sucks. I don't like that setup.
They were supposed to stop that for eBay too, and
Somebody's
they have yet
sending me
to
messages.
do that.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. Random Acts of Thrifting says the packaging was unacceptable. I completely agree. Lisa DeRee says the different perspectives on packing material. I like different perspectives on packing materials. I always use friends and family's packing materials. Bubble wrap, paper, Amazon boxes. I leave a note in the box on the card, usually vintage card, and let them know that we probably use recycled packing materials. And thank you for shopping on eBay. My family had an antique shop for 30 years, and we always used recycled packing materials at the shop too. I guess it's just an image you want. Yeah, I don't have a problem with recycled materials. I don't think most people do. We recycle bubble wrap. We recycle boxes. We'll reuse an Amazon box. As long as it looks professional and neatly done and doesn't look like somebody dumped their kitchen garbage into your package, then I think it's fine. And I do think if you're selling at an antique shop, kind of that small town Main Street antique shop, and you're using packaged materials, I think that actually helps your brand. I think that leans into that brand. There's nothing wrong with that. Alicia says, I'm surprised at the comments on the packing materials. I also try to reuse materials, but I always strive to make my packing look professional. That's the difference. I agree. We don't mind recycled, but that package didn't look good. Pops, I think you hit the nail on the head with, as small business owners, you have to try harder. I do think that.
Agreed.
You have to do better. Shopping on reselling sites is not as easy as shopping at Walmart or Amazon. because they have the full force of the corporation behind them. I think of it from the buyer's perspective. Their first impression of an item when they open the package, if they see garbage, their brain is primed to see more garbage. Yep, I 100% agree with that. Let's see, Brenda Smith says, I try to pack the way I would expect to receive the item. That's a good general rule in life, not just for packing, but everything. Treat others like you'd like to be treated. I think that's a good method to follow, even if I have to go out of my way to purchase extra supplies. Yep. Ginny C65 says, I just got my new box stretcher and I love it. It's going to be a great time saver for me. She's actually talking about that guy right there. If you want one, or if you haven't seen one, go check out Grams and Pops Vintage in the shop. We have these. This isn't for making a box shorter like most of them are. This is for reshaping a box. So you can make a square box rectangle or vice versa. And we use ours almost daily. I've about got this one worn out. We've been using this for almost a year. And I think it's to the point now where I might print a new wheel for it because it's starting to dull a little bit. But this has done like 1,000 boxes with this thing. It's been...
I'm sorry, I have to correct you.
Correct me?
Yes, it has not been almost a year because you have not had your 3D printers for almost a year.
When did I get the first one?
April.
April?
March, April.
May, June, July, August, September, August. 7 months. That feels like a year when you're old. It feels like a long time. So 7 months.
I'm sorry.
That's why I keep Teresa out here. She keeps me honest. Oh, let's see. We'll move on. She ruined your comment. So Ginny C65, Teresa's the reason I didn't read the rest of that comment. Upstate Picker says, sorry if I missed this, but what materials are you using to ship your stereo views? I recently switched to free shipping on my ephemera store, so I'm trying to lower my cost on supplies while still ensuring the customer has a good experience. I might be the wrong person to ask for that. We do free shipping too on our ephemera store, but we don't lower our cost on the shipping materials. That's actually one of the things that we're trying to curate a branded image with that store, so we spend a little bit more on our packing supplies. What we do though is we ordered a box that fits stereo views almost exactly. It's got about a 1/4 inch all the way around stereo views. You can measure one and order them on Amazon. We order about 100 of them at a time or somewhere in there. I take a piece of bubble wrap and lay it in the bottom of the box. I take the stereo view and I put it in a sleeve. You can buy those on Amazon too. You just get the measurements you want. They have about every size. Put a sticker facing up in the back side of that stereo view sleeve, seal it up, put it on the bubble wrap inside the box. That way when they open the box, the first thing they see is our sticker. They pick it up and they see their stereo view on that bed of bubble wrap. So we're probably spending more than we need to. Most of those I could probably throw in a padded envelope, which is probably what a lot of people, I've ordered a lot of stereo views. That is how a lot of people ship them. I'm not gonna do that. We're trying to put it out there as more of a premium brand. So we want it to feel premium when they get it. Reality Smacks You says,
I like that name.
if you sold it on eBay, then they bought it on eBay. He's talking about our branding discussion from last Saturday, I think. Technically, Reality Smacks You, I can't argue with the technicality of that being correct. If they bought it on eBay, if you sold it on eBay, then they bought it on eBay. You're right. But if they go to their friends and they say, where'd you get that? I don't want them saying eBay. They bought it on eBay, but they didn't buy it from eBay. And Grams and Pops as a brand, we're more than just on eBay. We have our website. We have other platform stores. We have our eBay store. I want them, and I'm willing to put the effort in to make sure that they know they bought from Grams and Pops, not from eBay. So that's the point we were trying to get across. But your statement, as a standalone statement, is absolutely true. A. Yoakum says, I have a question for next time. It's this time. I just reorganized my workroom, and I'm still a bit frustrated with my box storage system. Can you share how you store your boxes and packing materials? I sell a wide variety of items and categories, so I have to keep a lot of sizes in stock. Yeah, we have the same issues here. I'll just take the phone and go around quick, and I'll show you what we do. All right, so our box storage is not complicated. We put up a shelf, and we have several sizes of boxes above our packing station, which is completely messy. And then we have these cheap plastic shelves. We don't use these for inventory because they're too light, but we store different box sizes on those too. And you can see we have our tape and envelope and stuff over there. And then we have bubble wrap and stuff way up on that balcony back there. Right, so that's about it. There's nothing special about how we store them. We just have more space than a lot of people, I think. So we get away with being a little bit unorganized, but we're trying to be better organized. We also are constantly, that camera wiggles. You can't walk by here anymore. The floor is wooden.
Are you saying I'm fat?
No, the camera did this.
The camera because
I need to put it on a gimbal.
The weight loss.
We're on a weight loss challenge. We're trying to fix the camera wiggle. What was I saying? You ruined another comment. No, we are constantly looking at our box and our packing materials and refining what we order. Sometimes we need, with our Star Wars action figures, they all kind of fit in a certain size box that we never really used before. And once they're gone, we probably won't need them again. So we're constantly phasing out old boxes we don't use anymore and getting new ones we do. Depends on what you're buying. Laney9494 says we call eyelashes on Barbie rooted eyelashes. Holy cow, that's a throwback. She commented on our Barbie video, how to quickly identify valuable Barbies. That video was a long time ago, but it still gets views every day. So I don't know why, but it does. We did figure out that they're called rooted. It took us a while to get there, but we now know more about Barbies than we ever wanted to, and we sell a lot less of them, but we still sell some. Right, so Gee Kid says, what do you do with old laptops? I do storage units and have accumulated several laptops and not sure what to do with them. One of two things really is what we do with them. When we first started getting laptops, the thing we did was take them apart. Every nut and screw and bolt and clip comes off of them, lay them out, get all the parts and list the parts individually as parts and repair, or replacement parts rather, and they do sell that way. We've sold pretty much every laptop that we've done. Teresa's trying to sneak by so she don't shake the camera. With the exception of a few parts, and that's where we found the most money in them, is parting them out. That said, it's a slow sell. It takes quite a while. They don't take up much space, but it does take a while to sell them. So the other way to sell them is we just take the hard drives out of them and sell them as parts and repair lots and put them up there. And they do sell that way, and they sell fairly quickly, and then it's one and done and they're out of your hair. So that's the two ways we've handled laptops. Matter of fact, we have a bulk lot of like tablets that are untested, no cords, nothing. We're just going to throw them all together in a pile and list them at a lot and one and done and get them out of here. Arlene PMCM says, you just gave the best explanation for having a niche store. Targeted items for shoppers, seller control over brand quality, and a standout seller will stand out even more. Yeah, that's kind of the path we're trying to go. Ooh, now I got really loud because the furnace shut off. Our heater, it's getting cold here, guys. Our heater was running. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of the path we're going down now, and we're really liking it. Janine Bryant says, you mentioned a comment from Janine, but that wasn't me. Must be another Janine.
I think you mix up Janine and Jeannie. Janine
I
is from
do.
Nebraska. Jeannie is from just north of us.
I probably do. I apologize. I know which one you are when I see your comment. I know that you're the one in Nebraska. It's just that I suck at names, and I never get them right. So I probably just mispronounced her name. Or maybe more. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Got White Mountain Treasure says, I forgot a power cord too last week, not intentionally, or not international, thankfully. But I kept telling myself, don't forget the power cord, don't forget the power cord. So of course, thing is,
power cord.
I got a late ding because while the unit arrived on time, I didn't see the cord for a couple days, so it arrived days after. Yeah, we got lucky with we got lucky in a lot of aspects with that. I did the same thing. I set the cord up on the top shelf and I said, don't forget to pack it, don't forget to pack it. And then I did. But we ended up with a really great customer who was very understanding. And we also ended up with it being international, which allowed us just to create a second listing, having repurchased that and refunding for that purchase, which reset the clock on us being late or not. So
that was thanks to eBay too.
That was thanks to eBay. They gave us a suggestion. Tina Conroy says, loving this new Saturday show. Thank you, Tina. Have learned so much, and you're my new listing buddies on Saturday. Awesome.
Yay.
But not this Saturday, because I already did my listing, and now we're redoing the video. But I'm hoping we're with you while you're listening. How can I find Teresa's eBay store? I've tried searching Dapper and Dazzle. Maybe I'm hearing it incorrectly. I'd love to have a peek at it. No, you spelled it right, and you're hearing it correctly. It's Dapper & Dazzle Emporium on eBay. I'll come reply to your comment. And we'll just put a link in there for you. But it's Dapper and Dazzle Emporium on eBay. DNK's Treasures. I very enjoy the shop talk videos. Thank you. I totally agree with you on the junky packing. You're not only buying the product, but the experience. I agree with that. That is so true. And whomever said, oh, you were repeating what I said. So I agree with me.
I agree with me.
That is so true. And whoever said that obviously has limited business experience. Yeah. And the bad thing is, like, I'm almost certain that if they received a package like that they ordered from Amazon or Target or one of the bigger box stores, they would absolutely pitch a fit too. And I don't think the expectation is lower just because you're a smaller business. If anything, I think the bar is higher. They can't put the effort in that we can at scale, but while we're small, we could put the extra effort in. So it just makes it look that much worse, in my opinion. Let's see here. Dusty Discovery says, I agree with you. I'm not changing anything from my promotions. I'm going to keep doing it the same. I look at it as paying for a commercial. Yeah, that's pretty much what you're doing. It's promotion. Plus being top rated plus, I get an extra 10% off. So I already look at this as I save 10% to play with. Yeah, he's talking about when you're top rated plus, you get an extra percentage off of your final value fees. And that doesn't equate to 10% of the product sale, but it does give you some extra leeway to play around. We kind of look at it the same exact way. Second Shop Life, Cory's comment, eat me, made me laugh out loud. Yeah, that last video, I got a little...
Harry? No.
Got a little, not hairy, I was already hairy. It got a little spicy, I guess. I lost control for a minute. I'm not usually that guy, but we got some trolls this week too. Hang tight. Let's see, doing it wrong. Hey, I pronounced it right that time. I didn't say doing it wrong. Doing it wrong. eBay will continue to squeeze their sellers until more and more leave to better, more profitable platforms. Lucky for them, they have more sellers than buyers. They can afford to push sellers out for now.
Isn't that the other way around?
It is the other way around, actually. They have more sellers. They have about 5 times as many buyers as they do sellers. I think right now, if you go look, they have, it's like 137 million current active buyers, and they have something like 50-some million active sellers or something like that in that ratio. I was just looking at it the other day. So the difference is the buyers have kind of leveled out. They're kind of steadying now. They say it's leveled out, but it dropped for like 8 years in a row. This year is the only year it didn't drop. So we'll see if they've kind of stabilized that or not. The sellers, on the other hand, they've been losing at a rate of about 1 million sellers per year for quite some time now. And they don't want to keep that up. So, but as far as squeeze them out to a more profitable platform, if there was one for what we do, I'd be on it. Like if one comes around, we're gone. Like, we're definitely, like we said in the last video, we're in an open relationship with eBay, and we've put them on notice. Just as a business, if there was a better opportunity, we'd jump on it. There just isn't right now. Craig Wienens. AI shopping bots will completely kill promoted listings when they default to best price. I mean, it sounds right, but I haven't seen this yet. I've seen shopping, like if you go on ChatGPT and search for what's the best headphones for jogging, just as an example, they will show you listings that you can go buy on eBay and Shopify stores and all kinds of stuff. Not Amazon. They won't show Amazon. Amazon is actively blocking ChatGPT. They're having some kind of piss and match. But they do show you product listings inside of ChatGPT already. But as far as them manipulating the search or having an AI bot that'll kill the promoted listings, I don't think that's the case. Matter of fact, ChatGPT and a few of the other AI companies, ChatGPT in specific though, just made some massive hires of people that headed up creating the pay-per-click and the advertising platforms for major marketplaces like Amazon and Facebook and Google. So they're not planning to kill those, they're planning to be those. So it's just going to be different beast, same story. Let's see. Pam Volker says, great video, breaks down exactly what eBay is doing and trying to move forward. Thank you, Pam. White Mountain Treasure says, Cory, I know y'all sell larger ticket items, but do you have thoughts on how the pay for the top slot mess will affect sellers of small, especially items under $10, for example? Like if someone sells $5 postcards, do you think there will be many people paying for the top slot in that price range? Lapel pins too are typically below $10. Yeah, I have thoughts. I mean, they're not all good. Some of them are a little scary, but I don't think pay-per-click, if we're talking pay-per-click model for the smaller ticket items, it's just it's a no bueno. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. There's not enough margin there to absorb it, especially if you can't optimize your ads with data. And eBay doesn't offer that. And even if they offered it, I wouldn't even sell $5 items on Google and run pay-per-click unless I was running a very, very targeted campaign for a specific item that I had multi-quantity of. But in terms of promoting and pay for that top spot type of mess, I mean, we advertise our postcards. We do. And we do just fine with it. It's still just, it's a percentage. It's not a pay-per-click, so we can afford to advertise them. And that's, if you have a postcard, if you have the same exact postcard, you have it and somebody else has it and you're selling it and both of your listings are good and both of your photos are good and both of your titles are good and everything's on equal ground, being one spot ahead of that guy, being in the top spot, for example, and he's in the second spot, you will statistically make about 80% more sales than he will. That's not made up. That's actual fact. They've done studies on it. There's one of the more famous studies from like Pennsylvania University or something where they studied placement of ads and the result of those placements if everything else was equal. And positioning does matter. So I do think even on the small ticket items, when you pay a percent like they offer us, which is more generous than most platforms offer, they go straight to pay per click. So I do think there's still place in there for us. Brandy says, totally agree with you guys about the promotion change. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Brandy. Thanks for watching. Billy Madison. Hey, Billy.
Hey, thanks for coming to visit us from the movie set.
eBay sucks butt at. I'm sick of these morons. Just had a legitimate movie taken down saying it's counterfeit, and the eBay rep was a smart butt. I haven't talked to very many smart eBay people yet, so you got a treat that day. But I agree with you about the counterfeits and the takedowns. I think they've just turned it over to AI at this point. And even if we call somebody and they say, yeah, that was stupid, it shouldn't have been taken down, we don't put them back up. We leave them down. If their system is flagging them, we just get rid of them. We put them on another platform. I hate it. It's one of my least favorite things about eBay, probably even more so than their ads and their current non-transparency. But it's just cost of doing business there. Alicia does. She has 2 comments here. I'm going to read them in the order she posted them in so I can try not to miss anything. So she says, to add to the pushing sellers to the pay-per-click model looking down the line, that makes sense. That makes me think eBay's business model might move towards higher volume enterprise sellers eventually. I don't sell on Amazon, but from what I've heard, they're already making a similar change and more or less boxing out lower volume sellers. Thank you for staying level-headed about these changes. I don't doubt that, and I don't even know that they're moving towards the higher level, higher enterprise sellers eventually. I think they're already doing it. Like, I think that's a thing they're doing. They quit trying to be Amazon in terms of the sell everything platform, and or at least that's the claim, is they quit doing that, and that's kind of what stabilized their buyer base. But they're trying to be Amazon on the monetization side of it, in the terms that they're looking at where does most of our money come from? It doesn't come from us. It doesn't come from me and you. It comes from those enterprise sellers. So I think they're already on that path. I think they're well down that path. Secondary comment, also not happy about the changes, but from a business perspective, I can see how eBay justifies. Yep, see there. What I'm very unhappy about is that they waited until after their winter seller event to announce it. Yeah, they don't want to stand toe-to-toe with somebody and have to look at a person and equate that to a person and say, hey, bend over. Like, they don't want that conversation in person. When they can see you on a spreadsheet as a number, it's a much easier thing to announce. And I truly believe that's all it was. It was just a coward move. Disgruntled Octopus says, too late, mine was lost millennia ago. Oh, he's talking about the title. I think the title of our Wednesday video was Resellers Are Losing Their Mind. Yeah, I didn't have to worry about that. Mine was gone too, Octo. PNW Coast. The announcement is in Q4, but it doesn't start until Q1. The only thing they're testing in Q4 is sellers' reactions to the announcement change. Yeah, when I was editing that video, I kind of had to shake my head at myself. You were right. I said, why do they keep pulling this crap in Q4? It isn't in Q4. It doesn't come into effect until Q1. But I do think the announcement in Q4 equates to the same thing because all the pain and crying and hurt and disappointment is happening now in Q4. Come Q1, nobody's even going to be talking about this. It's a done deal. It's gone. It's over with. I really don't think it's even going to be a topic of conversation for the most part, other than, okay, what are the results? So I think because of the announcement and the kick in the gonads right there in Q4, I think we feel it in Q4. Modern Pop Thrift.
Mod and Pop.
Mod and Pop Thrift. I completely read that wrong. I'm sorry.
I watch them on YouTube.
Even if you sort high to low prices, they put a random one, assuming pay-per-click at the top. Yeah, I'm not real thrilled with their sort high to low or low to high. Either way you go with it. When you search something on YouTube or on eBay, they finally kind of came back. A year ago, their search sucked. When you search for something, you never know what you were going to get. Now, I think it's largely fixed. I mean, it does pretty good at best match, at delivering what you're actually after. But when you start filtering or sorting by lowest plus close or lowest plus shipping or whatever, it's still kind of haywire. I mean, most of the results disappear. They're not even in there anymore. I think it's trying to match up by location distance from you, and I think that throws everything off. Sort by lowest price plus shipping is a disaster. It doesn't work well, and we all use it every day when we're comping stuff. It isn't good. If you sort by best match, you're gonna have a much easier time. Let's see here. Tina with the Lake Exchange says she dabbled with promoted listings on older clothing and hats.
Tina.
Few sales here and there, but nothing significant, so I haven't added others. We'll probably let it dwindle before signing on more. Yeah, and I think those are good candidates for it, too. I think the clothing and hats is a super competitive niche, or super competitive items, rather. So I think that is a good spot. That's a good reason to use promoted. If we were selling a lot of clothing and hats, I mean, that would definitely be something we'd consider because that is much more competitive. Red Piano says, one thing worth mentioning, if a seller is a generous soul, he's matching the promotion percent with the same percent as a donation in the eBay giving program. I think there's a credit back to the seller for the donation up to a certain percentage. So you're still spending the promoted item's money, but at least it's going to a charity if you work out a one-to-one donation versus promotion amount. I don't know anything about that at all. Like I would have to find a charity that's not just a money suck. A what?
A total suck?
Yeah, I said money suck. Like most charities, there are exceptions, obviously, but most charities are just horrible, and I wouldn't give them money in the first place. But as far as the promotion goes, it's a tax deduction either way. They split it out in eBay so you can easily identify how much you spent, and it's a deduction at the end of the year, and we all need those. So not that I want to spend more on it, eBay, but it is a tax deduction already. I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing more about the credit back. I just don't know that much about that.
Agreed.
Lance's Vintage Store says, this is why my favorite stuff to sell is rare antiques, where my listing is the only listing. Yeah, that's the ideal position, right? Have something on eBay that there's not very many of, or harder to find, or antique type stuff. You don't need to promote. You shouldn't promote. I would never promote like with stuff like that. I mean, there's just no reason to. As long as there's not heavy competition there, the benefits just they're not there for that. So that's a great position to be in. AZ Cat Sue. Hey, Sue. Cory definitely was going down the rabbit hole. Geek. Yeah, I was. Sorry. I apologized in the video, Sue. So just to be clear, you're using ads as the same promote. Yeah, I was kind of interchanging ads with promoted listings. I haven't promoted. Not sure now if I should start very low and under a certain amount. Leroy thinks he's going to kill it in the weight loss challenge. Yeah. Sue, I think it really depends on what you sell, whether or not you should start. And if you're doing well without it, I mean, my only recommendation is never be afraid to test new things. You might find out your net, what you bring home, is better if you do market or if you do promote. And it's always worth testing. It's always worth playing with. As far as Leroy goes, I think Leroy's
a big talker.
Leroy's doing a lot of work, but he's got some pretty serious competition. He might be in trouble. Let's see. Silver Hair Stacker. I'm going to put your comment up here, but I'm not reading this. This is like a book and a half. Let's see. I'll see if I can summarize it. New eBay policy. Give me a boost in sales because I don't promote. I've tried it and did see much benefit for the stuff I sell. See that? I think that's kind of the spirit of the post too, is you're growing naturally and you're selling stuff that mostly has zero to very few other sellers. That's a very good position to be in. And that's a solid business model. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't promote either. Flippin' Matt says, if your listing is getting activity from views and offers due to promoting, would that bump up your listing in the algorithm? If so, then if a listing is bumped up in the algorithm from views because of promoting and someone buys it, then isn't the promoted feature working? Even if the buyer didn't click on the promoted listing when they have seen it without would they have seen it without the activity bump from promoted? It's a solid line of questioning. I don't know. Well, I do. I kind of know. I mean, eBay's pretty much said it that activity on a listing, views, clicks, will kind of bump it in the algorithm, I believe. I've heard that. I don't know if eBay said that or other eBayers have said that, but that's a solid line of thinking. I haven't considered that. But if that's true, and I think you're right, technically there could be some attribution. There could be some attribution there. Maybe it shouldn't be full attribution though. Maybe they should say, okay, look, this is why we're doing this. If they put that explanation out, we wouldn't have made our video. I don't think most of the YouTubers would have made their video. If they put out that explanation and said, yes, definitively, if you're running promoted listings and you're getting clicks, it raises your stuff in the algorithm. And therefore, that's why they're being seen organically more. So we're going to give you partial attribution. I don't think this would have been a problem. I think you should work for eBay as their PR department because they suck at it. And that's a really good thought. So Monique, I'm just going to go with Monique. I don't know how to say his name. Great fun watching you, buyer and seller since 95. Tired of all the BS too. Yeah, I think a lot of people have that sentiment, but where do you go? eBay's kind of got us in that. Oh boy. Goat digs. This is almost bad as silver hairs. This is a whole page comment. Let's see if I can get summary here. I'm curious if the machine learning models that eBay uses will assign a harsher score that could potentially hold items in search results for non-promoted items. eBay wants to make the most money possible, and essentially they want all items to sell for more. Yeah, I mean, I think they're already tracking that stuff. I think they're already doing that stuff. I don't know if it has anything to do with promoted listings, but there is an eBay listing quality report. So they're already tracking all that stuff and saying your listing is a poor quality listing because of this. And I have to believe they're serving the better quality listings more often. And I would think reason to stand if they're suggesting you promote and you're promoting at a decent percent, that probably helps build your listing quality score. So, I mean, that is definitely another line of thought I hadn't gone down, but I could totally see that being the case. I wish eBay would just be a little more transparent and say, yeah, that's actually what's happening. Like, it would be so much easier. There'd be so much less speculation. MG 2023 Faith says, I love you too. Launching a weight loss challenge is a great distraction from eBay. Add revenue seller income loss challenge. Yeah, it's been interesting so far. We'll see how the weight loss challenge goes. I think I'm down about 1.5 pounds. We'll see where it goes from here.
I'm up 10 pounds.
I'm at a very big disadvantage in the challenge, I think, because I lost a bunch of weight prior to the challenge. And I kind of hit a plateau where I quit losing weight for like the last 4 or 5 months. I've just kind of stayed steady at that plateau and I haven't been able to move. So I think going into this, I had to change stuff up. So I don't know if I'm going to do well, but either way, getting healthier is never a bad thing. And it is a good distraction. We got Jose back here. Question, because I can't get with you on the Saturday post. Can you max out your promoted listing, say at 5% or less before you list an item? If you can, how? If I promote, it gives me only 16% or higher. And I would like to know what else. Thank you. FYI, I didn't promote 3 items and I have had a sell in 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, we just set up one promotion campaign because we have so many items. It's virtually impossible for us to keep track of them all and do it by item. So we set up one campaign that whenever we list an item, it automatically just gets added to the campaign. We don't have to add anything.
Except for anything over $100.
It's still just the same campaign though.
Yeah.
We set up one campaign with a cap. You could set your cap at 5%. And then just tell it anything over X amount of dollars I don't want to promote is how we do it. I don't know if that works in your store. It works great on our high ticket store. I don't do that on our ephemera store or the jewelry store. It's different that way. But yeah, you could definitely set that up that way. And it's just under your marketing campaign. Just set up a campaign and include all items. And there's a checkbox that says add new items when they qualify, and just make sure that's on.
There you go.
Happiness is a Polaris bottle. I can't read that.
No, you gotta read that part.
Oh no, I'm not reading that. All right, we got Built to Flip here. Says, "Oh my lord, did he just say a hot, trashy dumpster fire?" yes, I did. Yes, I did, and that feeling holds to this day. I still feel it. eBay's got some straightening out to do, although I'm not holding my breath for them to do that. DNK's treasures. Yet again, eBay is taking more from the small everything seller. Go figure. Pops was worked up for a minute there. I did get a little bit. And rightfully so. And Shane should love this urine reference here. Don't pee on my head and tell me it's raining. Thanks for the insight. Thanks for watching, DNK Treasures. Let's see. We got Reveal Stoke Independent Power. We're going to go with that. That's the name. That's a really, really long name. It says, you summed up my life and resale strategy at 11:50 of the previous video. Was it I hope it wasn't the hot, trashy dumpster fire. I hope that's not. Wendy says, try the carnivore diet. It's the best. Yeah, we're not dedicated enough to try the carnivore diet. We are trying the fasting, like the 16/8 fasting. That's kind of what we're trying now. We're going to give it a week or two, and we're going to see if it's doing anything, if it's working. We try and stay active, and then we'll adjust from there. If we have to switch it up, do something different, maybe we got to exercise more. I don't know, but that's kind of what we're doing now. I like food too much to do just carnivore. Let's see, Melinda Pam Atmat. Yeah, sorry for the names, guys. I'm not good at names. I gave it a long, hard think this week. Why do I promote? Only 25% of my items are promoted, and I averaged about 12% sales from a promotion. Though recently it's jumped to about 22% with no changes. I never promote an item right away, and when I do eventually promote it, it's because it's been hard to sell, because it's either a saturated or less popular market. Yeah, that's... If you have a small enough store, if you're compact enough in your eBay listings to where you can manage your promotions individually like that, that's the way to go. Like, that is unarguably the most efficient way to get the most money out of every item. You're going to get better results with your promoted listings, and you're going to pay a lot less in promoted fees when you're promoting only the stuff that needs promoted, but also only after you give it a chance to sell without promotions. It's just that our stores, we have so many items and our stores are so large, it's not a manageable thing to do that way, which is why we do the blanket promotion. Second Life Shop says, I bounced what eBay was doing off my husband and he agreed with me. I'll still promote. It's really not that much more. I will work it into the cost of business. If I'm ever going to do pay per click, I want the data. Yeah. And I think we talked about that a little bit too. It's really not that much. And the money, yes, it stinks. They're digging in our pockets again. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. Like, it sucks every time somebody reaches in your pocket and takes money away that you were getting. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much that they're taking, depending on what you're promoting. I guess if you're promoting at 50%, like, you get what you get, but it's not that much for us at our promotion rate. And it's just the cost of doing business. The cost went up. It sucks, but it went up, and we're just going to soldier on. I think the biggest issue with this is just the way they did it. Michael Lincoln says, when the top spot also shows a lower price just below that item, what's that top spot really worth? eBay even likes to show lower prices by other sellers when you're in the checkout. More people sort by lowest price anyway. All right, there's two things here. And I'm not picking on you at all, Michael. I think you've kind of fallen into the same trap that I used to fall in all the time. A lot of people fall into the same trap, so I'm not picking on you in any way at all. I think the first thing I want to address here is that more people sort by lowest price anyway. Categorically false. and proven and backed up by stats. It's categorically false. But we as human beings, we have this weird tendency to think that other people think the way we think. And if I see something as common sense, like if I'm going to go to eBay and shop for something, I'm going to sort by lowest price and I'm going to get the best deal. And that's common sense. And somebody that says they're just going to go on there and buy that top item, they can't be right in the head. They're broken. There's something wrong with it. Like, people don't do that. And if they do, it's a minority. It's not true. People also have this other weird trait called lazy. And any friction in the transaction at all disqualifies a lot of people. So listing A here, listing B here, just having to mouse down to the second listing, friction. Even that little bit results in this one gets 80%, this one gets about 20%, and it's actually different. I think this one gets like 53%, this one gets like 24%, and then lower and lower as you go lower, if everything else is equal. Now, you did mention if the top spot is there and the spot directly under it shows a lower price, what good is the top spot? I think I just kind of explained what good the top spot is. But even in this situation, if you're saying that the spot under it has a lower price, do they have as good a listing? If that top spot has a better listing, just say I have a photo of this cassette tape. Who is this? Night Ranger. I have a photo of this cassette tape, and I have fantastic professional looking photographs, and it's an eye-catching title and a description, and my specifics are all set up, and everything visually looks like I'm buying from a very professional seller. And then you look at the one below it that's 50 cents cheaper, and the pictures look like they're laying on somebody's feet or they were taken in a garage on somebody's home bench. They're even with that one being 50 cents cheaper, a good majority of the people are going to click on the one that's better. So it really depends. We're talking semantics here, but it really does depend on if everything else is equal. But by saying that one had a lower price, if everything else is still equal and it has a lower price, I think you do increase your odds. But that doesn't mean that top spot it doesn't mean that top spot's going to match up that way every time. Depending on the search, you may have a different piece of competition in spot 2. That top spot has a ton of value. So if you and me come up together, both selling Night Ranger, and we both have equally good photos and equally good listings, and I'm in the top spot and you're in the second spot, you're going to lose. 50, 60% of the time, you're going to lose that battle. And yours will sell as soon as mine's gone. But I'm going to sell, and I'm going to have the sales velocity that you don't have. So, like I said, I'm not picking on you at all. That's just kind of the way online shopping works and the way human nature works. And we do have a tendency to believe that when we believe something is common sense, we believe other people believe that. And it's not. It's people think so differently. And I've made that error myself so many times. Michael also says, eBay never has cared much for sellers, even though they wouldn't exist without them. Buyers and scammers have always been favored. I don't know that that's true. I can't say they haven't treated their buyers poorly at times. But they have given us a platform that's better than any other existing platform right now. There is not a better place. So in that aspect, is eBay a bit of an abusive spouse? Maybe. But there isn't a better one right now. I'm not advocating for you to stay with an abusive spouse. That's not what that was a poor analogy. But there really isn't a better one right now. So yeah, they don't always treat us great, but what are you going to do? Like, there's nowhere else to go. Dan the Stamp Man says, best quote, stop pissing on my head and telling me it's raining. That's a keeper. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for watching. Mike C. I don't have to worry about paying promoted fees because I'm not selling diddly squat.
That sucks.
This is the worst fourth quarter I've ever seen. I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. I hope it picks up for you. I'm curious what it is you sell. I think we're in a unique position, like Grams and I are in a unique position because we just got several big bulk buys. And a couple of those bulk buys were things that do typically sell well in fourth quarter. Our Star Wars buy, for example, that's like fourth quarter gold. And we have never, in our time on eBay, had a better fourth quarter. Like, bar none, never. We've never had a better one. So we're killing it this fourth quarter. But I do think it's largely because of the buys we made just prior to fourth quarter and our ability to get them all listed. So I really think it ebbs and flows with what you can get a hold of and get listed. So sorry to hear about your trouble, though. I hope it picks up for you. Pace Pickers says, CEOs said they expanded as much as they can with customers, so they are going to look at sellers to increase revenue. It won't stop. Every year they will be looking for 2 to 4% more in fees every year, and it's easy to understand if they don't see growth, the investors will leave. So expect 2026 will have a fee increase in some form and every year after. If you think that won't happen, you don't understand how companies with investors must show higher profits this year than last before it crashes. Yeah, I'm curious where you heard that the CEO said that. If the CEO said that, that's a bold move, Cotton. Like I don't think he did say it, but I don't know. If they put it this way, if the CEO said that in that way, or even a representative of eBay has ever said that, that's bold. I would like to see that, because I'm not sure that's the case, but I can't argue with the rest of it. I mean, how many times does the post office fees go up a year? Every quarter? It's just the cost of doing business. I mean, things go up. So if we see those price raises, and I don't doubt we will, I mean, at what point does it reach like critical mass where another platform spins up to compete with them? They have to keep that in mind too. They can abuse us as much as they want up until the point where we start squeaking enough to where they can't anymore. And as small sellers, you and I, unless you're in that multi-million a month club of sellers on eBay, we could do a lot of squeaking, and it really isn't going to matter because we don't have the pull with eBay that they have. So, but when they start getting those high dollar sellers squeaking, they'll pay attention. All right, 83 Bama Girl says, pay to click was my first thought since I was going to be out of town for a few days this weekend. I decided to try an experiment. I dropped all my promotions. Nothing's promoted for 3 days. I normally have a couple sales a day, which is what I like. Nothing, not a zilch. Tomorrow I plan on promoting everything again. Yeah. And part of that may be due to not having promotions on, but eBay is vindictive. Every time we've ever shut off promoted, like cold stopped a promoted campaign, our eBay store suffered for a week. Like, it was terrible. So anytime we roll promotions back off, we do it like 2% at a time till they're gone, because eBay just does not like you shutting promotions off all of a sudden like that. Like, they really kind of lock you down. I don't know why, but it's happened every single time we've ever done that. Julie Sweeney says, I search lowest price and quantity every time. I believe it's a woman trait. Guys go in and grab and go. Just what I see. Yeah, again, I think that's smart shopping. I think that's being a responsible, smart shopper. But I also think that kind of, don't assume that other people do that, because I think, well, I know that is not the majority. That's being a savvy shopper is a small minority of people, and you're never going to be able to guess what somebody else is going to do or how they're going to shop. It's just a very difficult thing to do. Julie also says, no promoted listings here, but I'm part-time. Yeah, if you're part-time and you've got plenty of time for your stuff to sell and you're not worried about getting stuff out so you can get more stuff in, a lot of times you don't need to promote. I mean, it really is a situational thing, and it's personal to everybody. Soda City Flip says, congrats, guys. Oh, he commented on we hit 6,000 subs on our YouTube channel yesterday, and he commented on our post for that. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys, too. Thank you for getting us to 6,000 subs. A. Jones says, promoted listings have always felt like a scam to me. I sell thousands of items a year and have never promoted once. Yeah, it's probably the items you sell. That's good, though. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. And if you're getting out of eBay what you want from eBay without giving them more power, like that's awesome. We're trying to push eBay a little harder, so we got to pay for a little bit of the gas, apparently. Eureka Springs, Arizona. I just want to know exactly what my net payout will be, especially when considering or adjusting an offer. Yeah, and that's always our focus when we grow a business too. I don't want to grow this eBay business in terms of what is my 90-day gross sales. I don't really care. I mean, it's an indicator for us. It's something we can look at and say, this is where we are. But what comes home to the bank account is what matters. If I can bring more money home, or even the same amount of money home, and have less items and less sales in a lower 90-day, that's always going to be preferable. But yeah, you're right. What comes home, that's the important part. As long as we know that and we can control that, we're in good shape. All right, we got another long one here. We got Mark Lewis. Says, how could you have been in marketing and yet have such a distorted perception of the value of promoted listings? Huh? A promoted listing is not some sort of insurance that you will get sales above those who don't promote. No, I agree. It's not just the way it is, not even close. Quite frankly, it's bizarre that you would even think that. I don't think that. I don't think that. And also, you have zero data to back up your misguided claim. Actually, there's plenty of data. Maybe I'll put some up on the screen here for you. If you're talking about the fact like placement matters in terms of sales, if everything else is equal, there's plenty of data on that. People have been doing e-commerce for a long time. There's been plenty of science behind it. So I'll see if I can put some up here for you. But I'm not sure I have a distorted view on it, and I don't think the things that you're saying I think. So I'm not sure where you come from, Mark. All promoted listings does is put you near the top of the list. Yep, I agree again. If your listing isn't appealing for a variety of reasons, people will just scroll past you. Facts. Some buyers even avoid sellers who use promoted listings as they don't like the idea of someone spending money to put the item at the top. Correct, that is true. They consider it to be potentially misleading. So get off this foolish notion that promoted listings will net you many more times the sales than non-promoted listings. Listen, Marky Mark.
Hold on. Why did I just hear when you said get off your what? All I could hear was get off your high horse.
Get off your foolish notion.
All I heard was get off your high horse.
Look, maybe you're having a bad day. I don't know. I'm not going to pick on you too much here, but I'm not sure where you're coming at, because most of what you've said in this, other than the direct, like being a little aggressive here, Mark, other than that, I agree with most of what you're saying here. So I'm not sure what I said to give you the impression that I'm an idiot, but I'm sorry, Mark. Have a better day. I'm just saying that your view on it is incredibly illogical and has no basis in reality. Well, shit. All right, we'll move on. I'm sorry you feel that way, Mark. I'm not sure what I said to make you think that, but I'm pretty much in agreement with most of what you put in here, so I'm not sure where the divide happened or what I said that triggered you, Mark. I don't know. All right, Pick It With the Pages says, I shut my ads off and my sales spiked. Like eBay was saying, I'm sorry. Probably just coincidence.
I think it was a coincidence.
I think it was a coincidence too, but that's a happy coincidence. I like that. Crafty KYM. Hi, just clicked on your channel because I was drawn to your title. I'm a sole seller on eBay from the UK, England. Just downsizing, so I have no costs, no GPS, TBF. Is that like a tax, like VAT type of thing? I'm not sure what those GPS is, how we get around in the cars. You have to let us know what those are. I'm sure that's something that has to do with where you're at. I'm not familiar with them though. I haven't noticed much difference in promoting my vintage one-off items 5 to 10%, as I only have 100 of them. Some weeks I sell 5 to 6, then another goes by and I sell nothing. Rare stuff I don't promote, but clothes I do. I mean, it sounds like you're exactly doing what you should. And I don't know that you will see a difference promoting those more vintage items if it's something that you're not in a highly competitive area in. Again, I don't think I would promote. Like we only promote as a blanket promotion because of our situation with so many items. If we picked and choose, I would say probably 40% of our store wouldn't be promoted because it's vintage and there's not a ton of it on there. Yep. I mean, even competing against 20 or 30 listings, that's not what I would consider a highly competitive market. We wouldn't promote that. But yeah, it sounds like you're in a great spot. You're doing exactly what works for you here. I also have a death pile. Peeps here only want to spend a tenner, like 10 pounds, $10 is how I take that. Yeah, some people can be cheap. Good thing I'm not a business or I'd starve. Well, welcome to the channel, and thank you for commenting on that. And good luck. I hope this Q4 crushes it for you. Mark's back. Your notion of eBay gradually trying to force people into pay-per-click is absurd. Is it, Mark? Is it absurd? The vast majority of sellers are everyday people, not businesses that can factor pay-per-click into their advertising budget.
Well, they don't.
Maybe,
but that doesn't mean eBay's not going to force them into it.
Okay, but I want to throw, I mean, if we're having this spirited debate here, I want to throw this at you. The vast majority of sellers on eBay are everyday people. They're me and you, Mark, me and you. I get it. And that is absolutely true. The vast amount of money going to eBay are not from everyday sellers. It's the 80-20 rule. 20% of the sellers on eBay make 80% of their revenue. Those are the big sellers, the multi-million-dollar a month sellers. All of us little people make up about 20% of their revenue. So we're small beans in that. So I mean, if you're advocating for they're not going to do something to make 80% of the users angry, well, they don't have to worry about that. We make up 20% of their revenue. They don't give a shit. Like they do, but in the grand scheme of things, we're small beans. So I guess that would be I'm going to keep reading. This could get interesting. I'm going to keep going. It won't fly. It has flown. And most sellers are one-off sellers. So by your own admission, let's go back a minute, Mark. Remember when I said most sellers don't make the most money on eBay? Still applies to this sentence. You're right. Most sellers are one-off sellers. They're not the big sellers, but we make the least amount of money for eBay. So it wouldn't make sense. I agree with that sentence. It wouldn't make, most of this doesn't, Mark. So no, the notion that eBay is planning to do what you claim would mean they will amputate most of their business. No, that's categorically false. It wouldn't. Most of their business in terms of headcount, maybe. Most of their business in terms of revenue, not remotely. You're just trying to manufacture a doomsday scenario. Really, Mark? You think we'd do that? Have you watched any of our videos? We're not the doomsday kind of channel. We're just not. Listen, I'm just playing.
Pennies.
I'm just playing with you here, Mark. I don't have anything against you. I'm not trying to be mean to you. It did seem a little bit aggressive again. But I don't know if you're having a bad day or not, and I'll give you the grace for that one. But again, largely on a lot of the stuff you're saying, I don't disagree with, other than just some technicalities here. I think we're on very close wavelengths here as far as the way we think about it, with some small differences. Reed 500 says, I was at 24 minutes and still didn't hear the other change eBay made. You guys aren't too bright. Damn it, Reed. I was ready to move on to some positive. Are you sitting in a bar with Mark and you guys are just trolling us now?
Who is it?
Is that what's happening? Reed 500. Listen, you got a free video that you didn't pay for, that you weren't forced to watch, and you were welcome to shut off at any time. If you shut it off at 24 minutes and you missed the lead, I'm sorry.
It's on you.
But I will try harder. I'll try harder. All right. Come on, John Keene. Give us something positive. This really explains why most of my recent searches have items that have nothing to do with my search terms except the promoted items. eBay's search results have been atrociously bad this year, and I have drastically cut my spending because I'm sick and tired of being shown items that have nothing to do with the search terms I searched. Let us know where you're at, John. Are you in the U.S., John? On eBay US? Because I think eBay's just their best match search. You just go in and put the search in and run it. I think it's gotten much better over the past year than it was a year ago. It's not perfect. It still isn't great sometimes, but I think it's gotten substantially better than it was. So I'm actually on the opposite side of that, but it may differ depending on where we're at, if you're in a different country. Nitix, as a buyer, I never click on promoted listings while on eBay. I just know that those are never the best deal. That's not true. Sometimes they are the best deal. I only shop cheapest. As a seller, I bank on being either unique or cheapest. No ads necessary. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a good strategy. And even from the buyer side, what you're saying is not a bad strategy if you're willing to be a frugal shopper and actually put the extra time into buying an item. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just being a savvy shopper. Nash TV8 says, I sold 38,000 items from 2018 to 2025 out of 39,000 listed. Dang, that's awesome. I don't know what you're selling, but that's awesome.
I would like to know what he's selling.
Yeah. No matter what you're selling, that's really good. And none of them were promoted. Even better. Does promoted work? Obviously, yes. Nobody even needs to test that theory. It's rigged. It needs to be. Yeah, that's what promoted listings are. You're rigging the system. But I will never promote because I'm not in a hurry. Everything eventually sells and it's a good item at the correct price. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And if we had unlimited storage and we weren't trying to pay the bills based on what we put in and out of here. We have to have a certain velocity of sales because we need a certain paycheck every month. Which means if we let our inventory get stale and the slower selling stuff built up and we couldn't post new stuff all the time, our paycheck would quickly start to go down and down and down. Adding that new stuff and keeping fresh inventory and getting rid of the old is what keeps our paychecks consistent. I mean, that gives us some level of normalcy in our paychecks on eBay. But with unlimited room and no worry about it, just list it and forget it forever, eventually to sell, you're absolutely right. And congrats on the sales. That's awesome. EEEM Peach. Impeach. I see what you did there. Also, are you interested in buying up inventory from other eBay sellers since you're doing so good? Yes, we are. We're always buying. So if you have something, it has to be good inventory. I don't want to buy you bad inventory, but if it's something we sell.
We've done it once.
Yeah.
We bought inventory from another seller, and we did really good on that too.
Yeah, we buy from other resellers. If you've got a bunch of inventory you want to get rid of, and you have, if it's stuff you have listed, send me a link. And if it's stuff you don't have listed, if you just have a category of stuff you want to sell, if it's something we sell and we can get it at the right price, we're always interested in buying like that.
Now I'm curious: was that being sarcastic or was that being serious?
No, I think he was being serious.
Okay.
I don't think he was being sarcastic. And he's back, impeached. So what can be done to increase visibility in sales if you don't want to promote at all? It's a great question. A lot of things. Better pictures, better titles, better descriptions, more item specifics that are more accurate, like better products that actually have a better sell-through rate, like all of that. And any one of those is a lever you can start pulling. And if you pull them all together, it makes a massive difference. So you don't always have to promote. If somebody's in first place, and like I said, we did the Night Ranger example. If I have a really crappy photo and a crappy listing and a crappy title, and I'm in first place and promoting at 20%, and you have a phenomenal photo, and even if you're $1 higher than me, and you have a phenomenal photo and a great title and a professional looking listing, and you're in second spot, you're going to make the sale. And statistics be damned, you'll make the sale. Having a better listing accounts for a lot. And I don't think anybody would ever argue that. So if you want more visibility, better titles and descriptions is a good place to start. We use List Easier almost exclusive, one, because it does our listings for us, which is nice. It gives our time back. But more importantly, it builds a phenomenal listing in terms of SEO. When people are searching, they're finding us more often. We're getting more views on our listing. There's more information there. It's filling out more of the specifics. All of those things make our listings sell better than the ones that we had without using it. So all of those things. I hope that helped. The Fetching Fox says, eventually eBay's cut will be 50-50 as consignment stores. Only you do the work. It might be. I think if they got to a 50-50 point, someone would spin off a competing platform. Someone would come in and compete with them. I don't think they could. The large sellers that, say you're an eBay seller that sells $1 million a month. Are you willing to do a 50-50 split on the fees for that with eBay at that volume? Or are you going to take that money and go invest it and create a new platform? I don't think they can do that. They may end up trying, but eBay is much like any other business owner. They really are doing kind of what we talked about before. They're going to keep pushing the line, and they're going to keep poking at us until one of us squeaks. And unless the one that squeaks makes any difference to them, they're not going to stop. But when they do push too far and the bigger guys start squeaking, they're going to be like, okay, we need to roll back a few feet. We need to come back across the line, because they don't want them guys squeaking, not too loud. So I don't think it'll ever get to 50-50. If it does, I pray that somebody else makes another platform. My account is restricted, and only because I haven't sold on that platform for too long. That's dirty of them to do. So you're saying you have an eBay account that you just haven't used in a while and it's restricted for selling? I would think a call to eBay would solve that. I hope. Sorry to hear that. I hope you get that straightened out. Joe Childress says eBay buried the lead, L-E-D-E, not lead, L-E-A-D, L-E-A-D. Yeah, I made a typo on our last title, our last video. He doesn't know how to spell either. And honestly, I didn't even know I made a typo. I got corrected in our Discord channel. Somebody sprung that on me. I was like, that ain't right. That doesn't look right. Sure enough, it's right. And I made a boo-boo, and I was wrong. So there you go. So Mark, if you're listening, when I'm wrong, I'm okay to admit I'm wrong. So If I'm wrong, let me know, and I'll come back and admit that I'm wrong. I spelled lead wrong on Bury the Lead. All right. AAMMDJ says, if you promote, you're an idiot. Okay, AA Ron, take it easy. Simmer down. I don't think that's the case. Maybe it doesn't make for your store. Maybe if we sell exactly what you store and you promote, you're an idiot. But who does that make the idiot? Me? You? I don't know. I don't think you're an idiot if you promote. I don't think you know everybody's situation. And I think that was in jest. I think you were just trying to get the trolls going. I hope. And if so, do it again. Keep them going. Let's see. Who do we got? We got Parker Variety 2103 says, don't take this the wrong way. Shit. This isn't starting out good, Parker. We've already had it rough here today. I'm not targeting anyone. We know eBay watches YouTube influencers. We have a ton of people that are like, I bought this for $3 and sold it for $50. eBay sees this. They know most of us have large profit margins. So why would they feel bad about reducing our margins by 2 to 5% when they're bragging about profits publicly? I don't think they do feel bad. I don't think they should feel bad. If I was in the position of running eBay, and I think I've said it a few times in this video, I think you squeeze those sellers and you squeeze those buyers and you wait until they squeak and then you back up a hair. And I think you take what you can as a business. That makes perfect business sense. I mean, if I create a product, I'm going to charge as much as I can for it that the market will allow. And when the market squeaks and says, we're not buying that crap anymore, then you have to back her down a hair. And I think that's what eBay's doing. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with what they're doing. My biggest complaint was how they did it. I think it was dirty pool on their part, and I think that's what got the community a little riled up, is how they did it, not what they did. They could have just came out and gave the explanation we talked about a while back. We're gonna do a partial attribution on your stuff because anytime you promote it actually raises all your listings, so they do have some attribution claim there. I think that would have been a much better way to release it. So it wasn't the fee. It wasn't the fee bump that got most of us riled. It was just the way they did the fee bump. So that's it, guys. We're going to get out of here, and I think that wraps up all of our questions for today for the second time. And we're going to go have some supper, a healthy supper, and we will see you guys Wednesday.